One of the holy grails of riding horses is to get in total unison with your horse. That you are seamless with your horse, there's no bouncing, and it's just smooth, seamless riding. And because of that reason, that's why most of you guys out there in the YouTube land at some point in time have searched, how do I get in more unity with my horse? How do I bounce less? How do I sit the canter? How do I sit the trot? Those questions. Today, I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to be more in unison with your horse as you're riding. Some things to think about in the canter, some things to think about in the trot, some things to think about in general with your riding to get more in unity with your horses. So I'll go ahead and hop on Miklos and talk to you guys about some of these things, and we'll get going. Okay, so thinking about riding as much as I can with as much lightness as possible. Now I have to balance his impulsion here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of let go of the frame a little bit and still guide him, but then I want to see, like, if I take my hand and I put it on my chest here, I can really think about my upper body movement. I need him to keep cantering there. Good. Using my upper body hinges here at the hip. Good, like this. Very nice. Good. Toes in. Vertically aligned, ear, shoulder, hip, heel. Good. Trying to be as much in unison as possible. So one of the most important primary things to work on is to make sure that you and your horse are in self-carriage. Are you totally balanced without having to lean and support and pull on one another? Now, this is challenging with dressage specifically because we have an ideal shape in mind, that the horse is round, that the horse is on the vertical, that the horse is put together in the body. And if we simply let go, sometimes then we have the horse become more strung out. And so striking a balance between putting your horse together, dictating where they're positioning the frame, and also maintaining our self-carriage can be super challenging. But one of the things that we will never achieve is if we are holding against our horse, it's simply impossible to get to this place of being in unison with your horse, in self-carriage, in lightness, in freedom, in that kind of holy grail that I'm looking for. One of the exercises that I would encourage you guys to do is to simply let go of the reins, to ride and spend some time riding on a total long rein and be able to feel your way through, how does this feel in my body? That doesn't mean that it's wrong to like work on getting your horse together or on the bit. It just means that you're going to have an idea and a feeling of what total self-carriage feels like. And then you can try to bring the two of those together. One over here, total self-carriage, freedom, lightness, softness, and a shaping kind of that you want to dictate their shape and put them together in the body. And then you can merge those two. That one day you're able to find together in the body, round in the frame, but also with that self-carriage and lightness. Balance that tempo, add the jump. Nice, good. Okay, then I can pick up my reins, still thinking about the same thing. Now, can I shape him a little bit here? Be a little bit round in the body. Still adding that impulsion, that jump. Good boy. following with the hand. Upper body comes back and forth, toes in. Very nice. Another super important part that I think about in my riding is vertical alignment. What I mean by this is in dressage, I think about having my heel, my hip, my shoulder, and my ear aligned vertically. This way, as I'm trying to disperse energy that's going up and down, I can disperse it without pushing that energy into the horse. Undoubtedly, as you're riding, you're gonna have movement, right? And separation from your horse. You are not your horse's body. And so as they have movement up and down, they're gonna push some separation into you. So say they're trotting, they're gonna push some separation. Now, your job as a rider is through your body and your legs to disperse the energy that's been pushed into you as seamlessly as possible. Super challenging, but figuring out how to do that in a vertically balanced way is really important. If we're sitting back in a chair seat, what's gonna happen as we have vertical displacement is that then we're gonna need the reins to come into play to help us balance, or maybe holding in the reins. Or we're simply just gonna throw the horse's balance off because we're not balanced vertically. So vertical alignment is super important. Okay, here my right shoulder leads a little bit. My right leg is a little bit forward at the girth. My left leg is a little bit back. Add that impulsion so that I can sit totally quiet, as passive as possible. I need him to take care of the impulsion so that I can work on sitting quiet. And I like the cluck because that separates a physical input, add more energy from the leg, and a verbal input that has no pushing to it. Again, my hand on my chest here, upper body hinges back and forth, toe points forward. Very nice, like that. Thinking about my vertical alignment. Nice, good. Now I pick him up, position him a little bit rounder. Good boy. In the journey of learning how to ride, I advocate for watching your idols and watching them trying to mimic in your body how they move. As much as I can make this video in a verbal sense about how to be in unison with your horse, it is undoubtedly a feeling, and the best way to learn feeling is to watch and to mimic. So think about if I was sitting here trying to teach you how to dance, or a specific kind of dance, I would be very limited if I said, put your leg here, do this in this rhythm, put your hand here, move in this way verbally. But if I showed you and you watched that and then you tried to mimic, it's one of the most basic ways that we as humans learn, and it's one of the most efficient ways that we learn. So in your journey to be more in unison with your horse, I want you to find either here on YouTube riders that you admire and that you love, and specific pieces of riding that you're like, wow, that is amazing, the unity. But also in your circle of people that you're around, I want you to find those people that you look up to and that you like the way that they ride, and then really spend some time watching how they're doing it and trying to mimic that feel in your body. Even if you're not on a horse, try to mimic how is that shoulder blade shaped? Where are they using their hands? Try to go through and get as close to the feeling that they have in their body into your body, so that then when you are on a horse, you can try to mimic that. And so thinking about this as a whole, I'm going to pick up the trot, but I'm not just going to go straight to sitting because of what I spoke about, that he's not prepared in the body to carry me yet. So I have to get him going and through, especially before I start thinking about sitting the trot. So I'll show you guys a little bit what that looks like. Picking up the trot, finding a good tempo. Good. Shortening those reins a little bit. Little half halt. Good. Adding a little bit of cadence in and shaping that body that he can come together, lifting his back up so he's ready to carry me. If he's not ready to carry me, it's not going to be fair for me to sit on him. Little half halts. Good. Finding that balance point. Good. And when I have a good feeling, then I can go sitting. Dispersing energy vertically. And rising again. Sometimes short little moments like that are most productive, instead of staying and having the feeling deteriorate. Positioning that frame, working in this total lightness, total self-carriage. Finding the balance, little half halt, comes back to me and sitting. Good, and half halt. Oh. And rising again. Very nice. That I want to control that activity. You hear me so vocal with him, clucking to him, talking to him. I want to balance his shape and balance his impulsion. Good. Very nice. And again, sitting. Good. Letting him stretch here. Good boy. Again, thinking about the self-carriage, thinking about the lightness, thinking about the unity. I think I would be remiss if I don't touch on more of the horsemanship side of this. So if we're looking for unity with our horses in our seat and in how we ride horses, we undoubtedly have to think about how to be in unity with them in terms of communication. That we can communicate with them in the lightest, feeliest way. And, you know, to really work on this, that they are responding to the smallest of cues and aids, is going to unlock the possibility that we can get into a feeling of lightness when we're in our body riding. But keep chasing that holy grail of light communication and sensitive communication with our horse, and then that will help us in the riding and the more physical components get done what we want to get done. Good boy. So those are some tips. Think about riding more in unison with your horse, that you're seamlessly with the horse. And it's such an admirable thing to be working on. I think the horses appreciate it. The better we can be in our side of the story there. And it's not only that, it's a fun thing to work on this delicate balancing act of getting with our horses. If you've made it this far into the video, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It helps a lot if everybody on here subscribes, and then we can reach more people and talk about good horsemanship. Miklos is available for sale. We run a sales barn here called Exclusive Dressage Imports, and he is one of the sales horses. We have a really good selection of top quality young horses all the way through trained pre-St. George horses and sometimes Grand Prix horses. So if you're looking for a top horse or a competitive horse or an amateur horse or anything, please feel free to reach out. And one of the best ways is to check out our horses on our website, exclusivedressage.com. There you can kind of see all the horses and filter through them on your own. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being here, and good luck getting more in unison with your horses.